Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the power of forgiveness and why it's so important to learn to forgive to actually move forward in your life. So we all have situations that have, hurt us in the past, some more than others. And then when you stay in a state of unforgiveness, sometimes you don't realize that you're there. So first, what is the state of unforgiveness? So maybe you replay certain situations over and over and over again in your mind that have hurt you, right? Because they did hurt you and nobody can take that part away. But it may be 5, 10, 20, 30, just 50 years later, and you're still replaying them, right? To the point that they still affect you as if it recently happened. So I remember about 10, maybe 15 years ago, somebody answered this question for me, and they were like, how do you know you've forgiven? And that's when you can talk about a memory that hurt you in the past and it doesn't take you back there anymore. So it doesn't take you to that emotional state anymore, right? Because our brain does not differentiate between past, present, and future. It's whatever we think in our brain is present, even if it's from the past. So when we recall a memory and that memory still has attachment to strong emotion, then that memory is no longer just a memory. In our brain, we feel it, our entire body feels it as if it's still happening today. So if you are in that unforgiveness state, then that's what you will feel every time, something comes up from the past, or a person that maybe hurt you, an experience, a situation, and you relive it as if it was happening today. And that's a really natural thing that people do. Okay, so don't feel bad if this is you. I'm just kind of explaining to you why that could potentially stunt your growth and how you can actually get out of it, because it's extremely empowering to actually get out of that state. Forgive, let go, and then you won't have to feel that anymore ever again, right? So when you're in this state of unforgiveness, obviously, like I said, you keep replaying the painful experience over and over and over and over again, and it hurts you every single time you do, no matter what. Like I said, whether it was 10, 20, 50 years ago, if it hurts you every time you do that, then it might as well be still happening right now. So in order to begin to forgive anything, and forgiveness, I think people have a misconception that forgiveness may mean you have to accept other people's wrongs. You have to, think in a positive light about somebody that has hurt you, or you have to embrace, somebody or something that was really hurtful and traumatic for you. And that's not at all what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness is about letting yourself be free from the pain of the past, letting yourself recognize that it's okay to move forward and it's okay to move on, and acknowledging how much this state of staying there, consistently replaying that pain over and over and over again, how much is taken from your life. So consciously saying, I want to let go of that. That's more of what forgiveness is. It's not just accepting somebody's wrongdoings. So don't ever feel like you have to do that. It's more recognizing that you allowing this pain, you're the only one living with it. That person, that experience, that situation, whatever it is that you're still in a state of unforgiveness for, is long gone. They may not even be thinking about it anymore. The situation is only alive in your mind. So if you continuously attach the emotion to it, it's never going to go away. So how do you begin to do that? Like, how do you begin to get out of that state of unforgiveness? First, you recognize that when you're in a state of unforgiveness, then what you're really reliving is the pain and the anger and the fear that whatever happened, those seeds got planted in you from that day. So anger is extremely blinding. That's something I tell everybody. When you're angry about something, when you're angry at somebody, when you're angry about a situation, the only thing you're ever going to see is the negative aspect. That's it, right? You're not going to be able to see it from any other angle. One thing I learned is that when you really want to know the truth about something, you look at it from 4 angles and 4 sides. 4 sides and 4 angles, like a square, your square of truth. So recognizing that when I'm looking at a situation from my perspective, and even if, you know, that perspective, and I'm right in looking at it from a perspective, it's still just my perspective, right? So I'm not looking at it from every other angle that I could potentially be looking at it. And inside that, when you start seeing it from other angles, you find that no matter what, it taught you something, it brought you to something, it assisted you to help either yourself or other people. It made you wiser and stronger. It helped you to develop tools that to this day are helping you to not only survive, but hopefully thrive. And if they're not yet, they will. So everything that you went through or that you experienced, when you start exploring the other angles besides the anger, besides the fear, besides the shame, besides all of these negatives that it brought you, you will see that there are other sides. There's nothing is all bad. If you're still here today to, you know, talk about things and to like try to get through certain situations from the past or whatever, then there's something from there that you haven't explored yet that could really help propel you forward. And as soon as you find it, as soon as you find the lesson, as soon as you find what it has taught you, the tools that it brought you, how it has helped you and assisted you, it begins to transform the memory and the experience into something that you could actually take and empower yourself with, instead of keep taking and swallowing and just recycling this pain over and over and over and over and over again, right? So that's what I would say one of the first steps is to start looking at a situation and find something that came out of it that you're grateful for. Not necessarily, oh, let me go back and be grateful for how I was hurt or what happened to me. No, it's look at what came out of it, and something that has come out of it, looking at it from a different angle than only pain, you could potentially find like a really good lesson and a really good strength or virtue that it gave you. Like I said, those life tools that now you can take and it's part of your armor and you can help yourself or other people with. There's not one situation that is 100% negative once you start exploring the other sides and the other angles. So when you look at what it could potentially bring you, then you start focusing on other things. It starts rewiring the way that you feel and think and attach to that memory or to that person, to that situation. And when you start focusing on something else, then you start transforming. It starts transforming your unforgiveness state and your anger and all that into more understanding, compassion for yourself, you know, recognizing that you don't have to keep reliving pain. You can now do something with these lessons, with these pieces of this puzzle that it left you. You can actually see it together to form a picture, right? And when you do that, you can actually begin to move away from the pain and start transforming it into that power. And when you know, like, that you reach eventually, once you do it often, once you practice within yourself to start looking from different angles, you know, you can journal this, you can write it down. Like, initially it might be a little bit difficult to force yourself to see it from a different direction, but knowing that it will help you to actually grow out of that unforgiveness state into a state of forgiveness, it's extremely powerful. Like, anybody that can take their pain and turn it into power and actually change their entire life, like, they're unstoppable, right? So when you can do that, you know what, you like transition out of this state of unforgiveness to a state of forgiveness, that's when you know that you are free from the pain of it. The memory will always be there, you know, but the attachment to the pain doesn't have to be there. The attachment to, feeling like it takes you right back there every single time you think about it does not have to be there. You can talk about it to somebody else, and then at the same time talk about the tools and everything and the lessons that it has taught you, and you can help somebody just change their life just by doing that, right? So that's why it's so important to explore from all those different directions, to be able to be free from it and then move forward into that forgiveness state. And what the forgiveness state begins to do for you is helps you to be grateful and thankful for every experience in your life, because you always know that no matter what it is, there's something positive that came from it or can come from it. And you don't have to live with the pain forever. You don't have to experience negativity forever. You have the power to change that, and you really do. So, whatever you haven't forgiven, whoever you haven't forgiven, remember, it's not about them. It's only about you. It's only about you. So you don't have to ever think that this is about, excusing anybody else's bad behavior. It's just about freeing yourself from those emotional shackles, because that's exactly what they feel like. Like, you can't be free, and you can't rise, and you can't thrive, and it just will keep holding you down over and over and over again until you free yourself from it. So I really do encourage that if you haven't forgiven something or somebody for whatever reason in the past, start exploring those different angles. Start asking yourself, what lessons did I learn from it? What tools have I gathered from it? How am I now at this point in my life a better person, having learned, or maybe it taught you things to watch out for in the future. Maybe it made you switch directions, switch paths in your life, and you realize that this path is actually a really amazing path. I hear that all the time from people's past experiences. So find those jewels, find the lessons, find something in there that came from it that you can be grateful for. And that will really help you to transform and feel empowered and begin that journey of forgiveness and transformation and power. So that's something that I really wanted to emphasize today. Forgiveness can change your life and will change your life. It's not about other people, it's about yourself. You can be free from any pain from your past, and it does 100% start with you.